if I had better reasons for keeping him, I would. I wouldn't be sat here saying goodbye to him. Car Obsession is proudly supported by Carly and Draggy. Check out the video description to find out the latest discount codes. Oh. Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to Ewan, my high mileage Audi A6 Avant. Now, as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm talking about, well, what he has been like to own and also what I've done maintenance wise and so forth. And sadly, this is also a goodbye video. Ewan is now up for sale on Auto Trader and Facebook Marketplace, and yeah, soon he will be leaving the Car Obsession fleet, and of course that will be spoken about in this video as well. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to do so. Like, subscribe and all that jazz. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, your frenemies, and let's go for a little drive, and you can listen to me waffle on in typical trademark fashion. So I'll make sure nothing's coming. I'm good. So for my longer term viewers, you will know that I bought Ewan on a bit of a whim. I set myself and Mrs. Car Obsession the challenge of buying a cheap family estate that was interesting for under £2,000, and we succeeded. This was £1,480. So in my opinion, I got an absolute bargain. Yes, he is high mileage. He's now ticked over, well, he's just ticked over 217,250 miles. So yeah, he's almost been to the moon. But even so, he drives really, really nicely. Now, one of the things that makes this car interesting is what is under the bonnet. 3-litre turbocharged diesel V6. It's quite a punchy unit, around 230 horsepower and 450 newton meters of torque. Just to give you a bit of an insight into the car. But of course, I'm talking about how he has been to live with and the amount of maintenance and money I've pumped into him. So, long and short of it, rough calculations, I've spent around, I'd say, £1,050 on him in the last year and a half. For what it's worth, I was meant to be doing a 1-year update, but that just didn't happen. So this is now a 1.5-year update. So when I first bought him, he needed a new battery straight out the gate. He had a problem with the fuel gauge, which turned out to be the sender on the intake fuel pump. It wasn't fitted properly, so that was reset. Annoyingly, today I've noticed the fuel gauge has stopped working again, so that needs looking into, which is annoying because ever since I've started using Ewan again, he's presented me with problems. I had to replace the glow plugs the other week. That video is available to watch on the channel. So yes, I'll try to do things in order of them being done, but I may struggle a little bit. Oh, that's a bad pothole. So battery was the first thing. Getting the fuel gauge sorted. Front tyres were replaced to get through an MOT because the existing tyres, yeah, they were knackered. Yes, it is a technical term. The rear pads and discs have been replaced. I've done the glow plugs as I've mentioned. What else? Rear pads and discs. I'm trying to think now. He has had a fair bit done to him. I've serviced him, so I did a major service. So engine oil, filter, air filter, pollen filter, and fuel filter, of course. He's had a headlight polish. I had to replace one of the rear light bulbs the other day. I'm trying to think of what else he's had done. There are some things I've missed off, which I'll pop it as a caption. But yeah, I have tried to look after him as much as I possibly can, even though he is a bit of an old workhorse. You've got to look after your cars, and they will look after you. I'll just quickly spin in here so I can turn around. I'd say Ewan has been a pleasant surprise. Bearing in mind he was a car I did buy on a whim. I found him on Auto Trader on a Saturday, bought him on the same day after visiting the dealership, which I can't remember what they were called. Doesn't really matter, it's not relevant to the story. And despite the mileage, well, because of the mileage I should say, I was a little bit apprehensive of the purchase. I wasn't too sure how long he would last before he would end up being a money pit. Oh, another big pothole. UK, sort your roads out. Abysmal. But Ewan has been a fantastic car to live with, and I didn't quite think that I would own him for this long. I thought it would be a flash in the pan and he would be sold after 3 months or so. But no, here he is. He's still here for the time being, and he's been a fantastic servant for the family. Got a big boot so I can fit loads of stuff in there. Of course, you've got Amber's child seat in the back. This has been the family car. It's smooth, comfortable, refined. It ticks so many boxes. And that may make you think, well, Aaron, if you love the car so much and it does so much for you, why are you getting rid of it? Well, for starters, I don't need the car as much as I did. I don't really need a car as big a boot. And although it's handy having an estate knocking about, I don't need 3 cars, particularly as I can now walk to work. So, yeah, the 2 cars remaining, which are, of course, Leo, my Mark II Land Cooper, and Monique, my Mark I MX-5, they're not being used much either. So to have this about just doesn't really make a lot of sense. And he hadn't been used for so long that when I went to move him, to clean him, the battery was completely flat. Flat as a pancake. Even the central locking wouldn't work. So I had to take him to my place of work, Cedar Garage, and put him on a trickle charger for the day to get some health back in the battery. So yeah, I don't need him as much as I did. The other reason for selling him is because I often travel to or through Greater London. And as of August this year, I think the end of August, the ULEZ, the ultra low emission zone, is expanding. So it's going from central London all the way to the, well, pretty much to the M25. So anything within the M25 is ULEZ. And that for me will be a problem because, like I say, I often travel to or through Greater London. And yeah, to start paying more money for this car to use it just doesn't make financial sense. Bearing in mind, he's expensive to tax because he's an old diesel V6 and he isn't the cheapest to run either. Insurance isn't too bad, but yeah, the cost of diesel nowadays and the tax, yeah, it just means that this car doesn't make as much sense as it used to. Oh, an old BMW Z3. Don't see those very often. And yeah, I will be sad to see him go, because, like I say, it's been a wonderful car to live with, really and truly. Lovely cruiser, a nice bit of pace when you want or need it, comfortable, smooth, refined. I get why cars like this have got such a big appeal. And to think I got all of this for under 1,500 quid. I mean, what a bargain. What an absolute bargain. So much car for the money. And I certainly don't regret buying this car. I may regret selling it, but like I say, I don't need it as much anymore. For a car that I bought on a whim, as I've said it a few times now, I will genuinely be sad to see Ewan go. If I had better reasons for keeping him, I would. I wouldn't be sat here saying goodbye to him, but it makes more sense to move him on. And I really hope that the next owner enjoys him and appreciates him as much as I have. because it's a car that for the money offers so much, so much. Comfortable, spacious, loaded with kit, got a good engine under the bonnet, good build quality, refined. It ticks so many boxes, almost to the point where you think, could you possibly want much more from a car? If you're a petrol head, then yes. If you want something with more performance, then this car won't be your be-all and end-all of everything that's in your garage. But for most people, dare I say, this is all the car you'll ever need? Genuinely. Yes, I know he is a little bit long in the tooth and the mileage is high. But even so, it doesn't drive as the odometer would hint towards. I wouldn't say he drives like new, because that'd be stupid and untrue. But it's still a pretty solid package. So there we have it, the end of the video and pretty much the end of my ownership of Ewan. It's a bit of a sad time if I'm going to be honest, but things happen for a reason. Cliche, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, hopefully he'll find a new home that will look after him well and yeah, see him through to his retirement days. But I still think he's got plenty to give as long as he is maintained properly. Anyway, yes, time for me to finish. I do hope you have enjoyed this video or found it useful. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.